first question. So let me hang on a second. Okay, here we go. She needs to earn at least $105. So already you should be thinking greater or equal, right? At least. And she needs to make $105 or more. So whatever she makes, which is going to go on this side if that's how you're setting your inequality. So we know that she makes $58 for sure, just for working her shift. Then in addition to that, she's going to make $3.60 for each delivery, which you can use D or X or whatever variable you chose. So all that has to be greater or equal to 105. And then X represents the number of deliveries that she needs to make in order to achieve her goal. So everything else should be easy. Minus 58 on both sides. Those two go away. 360x is what she makes. 360 is what she makes per delivery. And 105. 105 minus 58. Minus 58 equals, you know what? 47. We're going to divide both sides by 360. And x is greater or equal to divided by 3.60, which is 13.05. Now think about it. If she makes exactly 13 deliveries, she's still gonna fall short because it says here that she needs to make more than 13 deliveries, 13.05. And because she can't make 13.05 deliveries, the next one would be 14. So our answer represents, in context of this story, she needs to make 14 deliveries or more. Okay, so Tim here wants to buy a car. He has 400 saved up to buy the car. From all the cars that Tim is considering buying, how much money does he need to save per month for the next 2 years if the least expensive car he wants to buy is $4,000? So again, the least expensive, so the cheapest car he's going to buy costs $4,000 or more. So again, that's my inequality. So I know he has 400, and we want to know what how much he has to save in order to achieve that goal. So per month, it's 2 years, so 24 months times however he needs to save per month, added to the 400 has to be greater or equal to 400. So minus 400, those two go away. 24m greater or equal to, what is that, 3600 divided by 24 divided by 24, m is greater or equal to 3,600 divided by 24. So he needs to save at least $150 per month for the next 24 months or 2 years. And then if he does that, add that to the 400 he already has saved, he's going to have $4,000 or more at the end of 2 years. Okay, let's see. You rent a car, 4-day vacation. You pay it off $25 a day, so $25 a day plus times the 4 days. So you know you're going to pay a minimum of $100, right? Then plus 0.15 for every mile that you drive. If you can only spend 350, what's the greatest number of miles you can drive, right? So only spend, where do you go? If you can only spend 350, you can spend 350 or less, right? Because you can't spend more than 350 because you don't have that. So minus 100 on both sides. And 0.15 m divided by 250, divide both sides by 0.15. And the greatest number of miles that you can drive on your vacation, 2050 divided by 0.15 equals that's a lot of miles. 1,666.6. So we're going to put that as a repeated decimal. So interesting enough, I don't know if the car company, if it rounds it up to the grade, what do you call? Rounds it up or rounds it down. So again, think about it. If you drive 1,666, you're okay. But if you drive a little bit more than that, you have to be really careful because you'll pass your limit of 350. So I'm going to say that you can't drive 1,667, but you can drive 1,000. Let's see, 1,666 1665, 1667. So 1667 definitely you can't because you'll pass your budget. So whatever you drive has to be 1,666 or less if we're rounding to the nearest mile here. Math teacher charges $59 to tutor a child and $30 for every additional child. No, hang on a second. Kate does not want to spend more than $125 on tutoring. How many of Kate's 8 kid can be tutored? Right. We know that the first child is $59 plus $30 per child, and then it has to be less or equal to 125 because she doesn't want to spend anything more than that. But we know one child for sure is going to be tutored, and that is for the $59. So after the $59, how much money do we have left at $30 per child? So minus 59, minus 59. 30C is less or equal to 125 minus 39. That's going to give me 86. Divide both sides by 30. And the number of childs has to equal to less than 2.86. So because we know we can't, so if we round this, sorry, it's going to be 2.87 rounded to the nearest 100. We can surely tutor 2 extra kids here, but we can't tutor the third child. So it's going to be 2 childs or less. So the first child is you pay $59, and after that you're allowed 2 more kids, and here will be 2, 1, 0, right? 2 or less childs you have enough money for. That's done. So let me bring up the other one. So this one, and the answer's at the bottom, but the inequality is not there. So I'm just gonna see if I can work this. Tommy mows lawns and cleans pools during the summer. Okay. He earns $20 per lawn and $59 per pool. He needs $1,500 to buy a car. He has already mowed 41 lawns. So 41 lawns times 20 means that he already has $820 saved. Plus, now we got to figure out how many pools he needs to clean to get a total of $1,500. So to buy a car, he needs $1,500. So he needs $1,500 or more to buy a car for his friend. Wow, nice guy. And we'll put 9p over here. So minus 820. Minus 820 because he already has 820 from 1500. So 1500 minus 820 equals 680. So 9p greater or equal to 680. Divide both sides by 9. Number of pools that he has to clean to achieve his goal. 9 divided by 680 divided by 9. 75. He needs to clean 75.56 pools. Well, he can't clean 75.56 of a pool, so he needs to clean at least 76 pools or more in order to save up for that. And that's P greater than 76. Do we have an answer for that? So if you look at the bottom, P greater than 76, there you go, and that's letter Q. So the first one is Q. Number 2, the 9th grade, blah, 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 is having a fundraiser. They need to raise at least $1,500. So again, whatever they're doing has to be greater or equal to $1,500. They're selling magazines at $7 each. How many subscriptions does the class need to meet their fundraising goal? So 7 times however many sales, right, has to be greater or equal to 1,500. Divide both sides by 7. And let's see, 1,500 divided by 7 equals. So they need the number of sales, 214.29 subscriptions are necessary. Well, you can't sell 214.29, right? If you only sell 214, 214 subscriptions, let me just multiply 214 times 7. 214 times 7. So if they had exactly 214 subscriptions and you multiply that by 7, you get 1,498. So no, that's short. So the minimum number of subscriptions that they need to sell has to be greater than 215. So X has to be greater than 215, and that's going to be letter U right there, greater or equal to 215. 3, Joey can spend no more than $28 on MP3 downloads. God, I don't even know if you know what that is. So we used to download music, and I guess they called MP3. Each song downloaded is $125, and it's $9.99 to download an entire album. Joey wants to download the newest Luke Bryan album. How many individual songs can he download after he downloads the album? So he can spend no more than 28. So already you can set that up. So for the $28, he's going to buy a full album, which is $9.99, and then he's going to try to download individual songs, and each song is $129. And we're going to multiply that by X, the number of songs. Subtract $9.99 from both sides, right? So 129x less or equal to less or equal to 1801. So divide both sides by 129. And that gives us 13.96 rounded. So he can download 13 songs for sure, but if you want to try to download the 14th song, he's gonna get 96 hundredths of it. So not the whole complete song. Very close, but the maximum number of complete songs that he can download is 13 and under. So number 3, I think the letter is here, right there, A. Has to be less than 13 or equal to 13. 3, 4. We on 4. Yeah. Susie wants to go to her class trip, New York City. She earns $8 babysitting. How many hours does she need to babysit in order to raise at least $500? Well, $8 per hour, right? Or call that H. That's fine, or X, and that has to be greater. So all that money, all the hours, multiplied by 8 has to be greater or equal to 500. Divide both sides by 8, and the number of babysitting hours going to be 62.5, and again, she needs 62 hours and a half. Well, I don't think you can. Maybe you can babysit 62 hours and a half, but for the context of a story, if we round everything, the minimum number of hours, complete hours that she needs to babysit is 63 hours, and that is number 4. Do we have X is greater or equal to 63? Oh, well, actually, look at that. X equals greater than 62 and a half. Because I guess you can babysit half an hour. Okay, so the 4th one is a R. 5. Sam has this much money in his account. He's spending $20 on gas in each week. How many weeks will it take for Sam's account balance to fall below $1,000? So below 1,000. So he has 2,450. Every week he's spending $20 per week. So how long can this go on until the account falls to be under 1,000? Well, let's see. Minus 2,400, not minus 2,450. It goes negative 20W less than negative 1,450. We're going to divide both sides by negative 20. And W, well, we're dividing by a negative number, so we're going to switch the sign over. 1,450 divided by 20, and 72.5. So, it will take 72 and a half weeks. I guess you can have half a week because I can see the answer already here. 72 and a half weeks. After 72 and a half weeks, his bank account will have less than $1,000. So the 5th letter is a T. 6. Jamal has spent $100 to spend on computer, paper, and print. And print, I said print. Printer and ink equals print. Oh my god. Printer ink for his computer. He buys 1 box of paper for $24.99. So he spent that much already. So whatever he has, whatever he's spending has to be less or equal to 100. Every ink cartridge is $19.99. So how many of those can he buy? Can he afford? Well, minus $24.99 minus $24.99. 19.99x less or equal to 100 minus 24.99, 7501. If we divide that by 19.99, x has to be less than 3.7. So he's allowed, he can buy 3.75 ink cartridges. Well, he can't buy 3.75 ink cartridges, right? So that makes sense that the most he can buy is 3 or less. Do we have a 3 or less? But yeah, we have that. So the sixth letter is an I. So far we have Q, A, R, T, I. Okay. 7. Jim and Joyce are saving. Okay, they're going to Hawaii. The ticket costs $24.18. They've saved this much so far. They're able to save 55 per week. How many weeks of saving will it take before they save at least $24.18? So all the money they save has to be greater or equal to $24.18. They already have $18.04, and every week they're adding $55 per week to that amount. So how many weeks will it take for them to be, for this total here, the left side, to be greater than $24.18? Well, minus $18.04, minus $18.04. That goes away. 55W is greater or equal to minus 1804. Ugh. 2418 minus 1804 equals 614. Divide both sides by 55. And the number of weeks that it will take for them to save up an amount equal to 22,418 is going to be 11.16. I don't know. I highly doubt that they have that as your answer. So they don't need they need 11, a little bit more than 11 weeks, and they probably rounded, and they did. So your answer has to be greater or equal. So the number of weeks necessary is greater or equal to 12. And there you go. So the next letter is L. Eight. Sam has at most $30 to spend right away. She can, everything, whatever she's spending or buying has to be less or equal to 30. Impatience are $2 and cornflowers are $3 each. She buys 8 impatience. How many cornflowers? So impatience are $2. So if she buys 8, that means she already spent 16 bucks. And then we're trying to figure out how many of the cornflowers. How many cornflowers at $3 each can we buy? Minus 16. Minus 16. That goes away. 3c less to equal to 14. Divide both sides by 3. The number of cornflowers that she can buy is 4.67. So obviously you can't buy 4.67 of a flower. So the greatest number of flowers that she can buy is going to be 4 or less. And there is our answer. And I guess the word or the magic word there is quartile. Okay, and you'll see a lot of that word talked about when you do box and whiskers, which we'll get that when we do statistics. Okay, yeah, that's it.